What is going on, guys? Chu here, bringing you another review on My Hero Academia. And I gotta say, this episode was a really messed up, dark backstory for All for One and Yuichi, his brother. We might as well just go ahead and get right into it. It was something that was messed up. This guy was evil from the beginning. But before I continue, guys, real quick, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Help us out. Get to a minimal of 50 subscribers. The goal is to get to 100 before the end of the year. Reason being is because we're trying to bring the live stream back onto the channel and get them away from Facebook. They are on the Facebook page. If you guys do want to check them out, they will always be there. I would appreciate it. We've had some fun sessions on Sundays, every other Sunday. The next one will be November 9th. So make sure to be there. Help us out, guys. And yeah. But let's get back to this. We start off with how messed up the mom was. We see how she was drinking while she was going to give birth. This was also when metahumans were early on, and she obviously had a quirk, and the two of them, she had twins, the two of them were very different in size, even how from being inside of their mother, we see how All for One was already taking all the nutrients and how small Yuichi was. And when they were born, we see that he took everything from his mom, like her quirk, the nutrients, and growing up, we see how small Yuichi was and how he treated him. How he was treated. He was basically All for One's punching bag. This guy was committing crimes at a very young age, and growing up, he only got darker once his brother, kind of, not saying that he was the reason for it, but, when his brother introduced comics to him, his ideas of wanting more and more became apparent. He took quirks, and we see that he just was doing what he wanted. However, Yuichi didn't want any of those things. He didn't want to have his brother go down this path, but nothing he would say would change it. And it isn't until much later that we see All for One give him a name, which was messed up, and an ability. And it isn't until we see Kudo and everyone else kind of showing up in his life to kind of get him out of there. And we see that All for One basically says that if I can't have you as mine, then you're done. I don't want you. And he ends up offing his brother, which was insane, but the quirk that he gave his brother was passed on to Kudo, to the other users, All for One. I mean, we kind of see like this chain reaction, and for the longest time, we see that All for One was always after this ability because he felt this closeness to his brother, and the fact that he also took out, his anger, frustrations, and all that out on the people that were close to the users of All for One. So it was always something that was emotionally attached, and we see how All for One now, like now ending the flashback, he sees that personality in Bakugo. And so he makes a desperate attempt. He is going to use all of his abilities. He kind of transforms into like this giant boulder looking thing with the faces of many people and going up against Bakugo. And like Bakugo is able to stop him. And it's kind of a wild way to do it. Like we see that the water from his sweat had this explosives, and it stops him. And it goes to the point to where we even see All for One taking a lot of damage, even direct damage from Bakugo, and he reverts back to a child, like an infant, and he's still trying to push on. And when he tries to get Bakugo, we see that Bakugo stops him, and because of his emotions and because of all the damage he's taken, like he reverses back and is gone. It's kind of a wild ending for him. You know, he basically goes in a bang, not an explosive bang, but like poof, like gone, and it's just wild. And Bakugo in the end does try to, like, you know, he tries to have his arm raised just like All Might did, but you know he's down for the count. And it's thanks to Bakugo and the help that he's gotten from everybody to reach this point. You know, he was able to then take down All for One, which is not easy. You know, we see that it's literally taken everything for him to get to this. So I honestly, you know, believe that Bakugo is like the best character outside of my favorites, you know, Stain and like Lemillion. But I think that, you know, he proved that he definitely has the will to be the best hero. But that's it for me, though, guys. Absolutely love this episode. Let me know what you guys think. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all later.